Good evening, everybody. At least it's evening here where I am. And I'm sitting outside today again in a different spot. And as you can see, I have um, down there stains from uh, moss remover that I sprayed on my grass and got a little bit on the house. And now we have permanent stains that don't come off. Don't do that. I think it's called moss out. When you spray it, don't spray it on your house. If you have plastic um, or vinyl siding. Anyway, don't look there. Just pretend it's not there. Got a haircut today, and I shaved. You probably can't tell now. It's evening. This thing grows like gangbusters. Anyway, today is vlog number 30. Final official blog or vlog, and I have officially reached my 30-day challenge. You can congratulate me in the comments if you like. I will continue to make videos after this, but might be a little bit different, or they might not. I still have a bunch of topics on my list to do in the same format, so I hope you don't mind it. Short little videos of stories or things I want to talk about. And my dogs are going crazy in the house, as you can hear. Anyway, for today, I want to tell you about how we went and lived in Florida for 1 month. You already probably saw a video about how I lived in Seattle for 1 month, or I moved to Seattle for 1 month. That was when I was like 19 or something. This was maybe 4 years ago, 2001, 3 years ago. I think it was 2001 when we did that. But it was weird because there was many reasons. So 2 years before that, or a year, I think 2019, we took that long trip to New York that I talked about in another video. And that was our big vacation that took 21 days. So the year after that, we didn't go on any big vacations. And then we wanted to do a big trip in 2021 and go to Florida. But that wasn't the plan. The plan was that we wanted to do something. And it was my wife's birthday coming up. And she said that she would like to go to Florida for her birthday. And that was out of the blue and mostly joke because Florida is too far away and we don't fly. So my wife and I, we decided not to fly back when we just got married 20 some years ago. Why? Just because, well, the only time that I flew on a plane in my life was when we came over to America in 1989 or 1990 or something like that. It was the only time I was on a plane. I was too little. I didn't know what it was. Anyway, and I was scared to fly. And my wife didn't care about flying either, so we just decided we're just not gonna fly, and we'll just take road trips. That's kind of why we took the road trip to New York, is partially because we enjoy road trips, but Um, Another reason is because we don't fly. Just to keep our nerves at bay, we don't need to fly, so let's not fly. That was kind of our agreement. And so when she said that she wants to go to Florida, it was kind of a joke. Uh, but then I started looking into it, and I was like, man, we did drive to New York, so maybe we can drive to Florida. And I looked around um, at the different paths of going to Florida from Idaho. One would be obviously to go to New York and then down, or another one would be to go down to Texas and then over into Florida. Either way we look at it, it's going to be a long, long trip. 5 days, maybe, or something like that, we would lose just on a road trip. That's just one way, and then another 5 days back. Going to New York was okay, doing it that way because there was a lot of things to see on the way. Um, but going to Florida, there's really not much to see. I mean, if we go down from Utah down to Arizona, there's like Grand Canyon, but we already saw that. I didn't do a video on that, but we did a big trip. Idaho to Utah, then down to Arizona, then all the way to the Mexican border and over to California and then back up. So it was a donut around Nevada. Anyway, so there's the Grand Canyon, but we already saw that. Phoenix, kind of wanted to see Phoenix, Arizona, but then obviously Texas. There's a few places in Texas that are interesting. But then from there, driving over to Florida is just a bunch of swamp land, and I don't know what to see there. There's nothing interesting over there for me. So it was a fairly boring trip to take, and spend 5 or 6 days doing that. Wasn't worth it. And then I just decided to look and see what it would cost to fly. And it turned out to be cheaper to fly and less time to fly than to drive there. And so that made us like seriously consider it. We were like, man, we could spend all that time in Florida instead. So, so I started looking at the flights and the dates, and started looking into renting an Airbnb. And I found out that to rent an Airbnb for a week is one price. I think it was like almost $3,000. Not for a week, for 2 weeks. I think we were looking at going there for 2 weeks. So it would be like $3,000 or 30 something hundred. And then I looked at how much it would be to stay there for a month, and you actually get a bunch of discounts for staying a whole month. And the car rental was like $200 extra to do a whole month on. So it made all the sense to just be there for a month. And we were like, wow. It was a serious thing to consider. We had to get everything aligned over here. Had to get all the bills figured out to get them all paid on time, because we're not going to be here a whole month. We also had some dogs that needed to be figured out. a lot of logistical things, but we ended up going. And so we, you could say we got on a plane for the very first time in our life, because last time I was on a plane when I was a kid, I don't remember it. And same thing with my wife, and my kids never been on a plane before. So we're basically experiencing all this for the first time. And we didn't want to do, and this is funny, we didn't want to go through the x-ray at the airport. So we all opted out to get patted down, and there's 6 of us, and so we're piling into the security area in the morning, like it's 6 in the morning or something like that. They just opened up, maybe it was 5, and there's like 4 security guards there, and we're piling in. We all need to be patted down, so they're scrambling, trying to get enough security guards to pat down all of us. So we got through security, got on the plane. I was so anxious on the plane. It was crazy. I took some relaxing pills. We have their natural, called L-theanine. It works really good. It's like a green tea ingredient out of green tea, some element out of there that makes you calm down. Anyway, so I was popping those the entire time, and our flight was from Spokane to Atlanta. That was, I think, like a 4.5 hour flight. And then from Atlanta to Sarasota was about 2 hours, something like that. So the last leg was easier because the flight was short. And then I didn't know what to expect when we landed in Florida, in Sarasota. I think it was 1 in the morning or when we landed. And as soon as you come out of the plane, like we're in the colder states over here in Idaho, it's like fresh air, and that was actually cold. This was back in, I think it was in May. Maybe it was April. No, it was March. I think it was March or April. I think it was April, something like that. But it was still cold up here. And then when we landed over there, and you come out of the plane, and this humid, warm air hits you in the face. That was quite an experience. And we got out of the airplane, or got out of the airport. We got a taxi that took us to our Airbnb. And one thing I remember is that the taxi, because of the humid air, it was getting foggy inside the car. The windows are open, and the windshield is getting mist or fog on the inside of the car. That was weird. Because he's got AC blasting or something, I don't know. But yeah, we rented this house, this Airbnb with a pool. We spent a month there. We got really sunburned the first day, and I'm doing a video, Belle. What was I saying? We were there for a month, and we had a pool. Oh, yeah, we got sunburnt the first day. The first day we went to Siesta Key Beach, and we were out there enjoying the sun. It was kind of hazy and a little bit like cloudy, so we figured it'd be okay. But the sun went through the clouds and gave us a sunburn. It was really bad. I got a really bad sunburn on my shoulders and on my chest. Um, and at night when we were sleeping, I couldn't fall asleep. Um, I got what they call hell's itch. Like you would fall asleep and you wake up because it's all just tingling. Like you can't fall asleep because it's all tingling. So we got up in the middle of the night, my wife and I, and we went looking for honey. Honey is good for burns. So nothing is open after midnight in Sarasota. Everything is closed. The only thing we found open was a gas station. And the gas station, all they had was honey packets. Packets of honey. We got to the house. I put it on my shoulders, on my chest. Took some shopping bags and stuck them on so I don't get it all over the bed. And I was able to fall asleep. Anyway, so we were there for a month. I took 2 weeks off, paid, so that was nice. And then the other 2 weeks, I actually worked from there. So I would work during the day, and the kids are swimming in the pool and everything. And then in the evenings, we'd go and hang out on the beach and wherever. So it was super nice. And this is when we fell in love with Florida. Ever since then, we've been trying to figure out how to move there. And it's not that easy when you have older kids. They have their lives here. They got friends and things, so it's not easy to move. When the kids are younger, it's easier. Anyway, so that was our first trip. When we flew back, I think we went through Minnesota. So we flew to Minnesota and then to Spokane. Then 2 years later, we went, which is last summer, we went to there again, but only for 10 days, I think. We went for 10 days and we stayed in a different Airbnb. This time we flew from Spokane to Seattle, and then from Seattle, I think we flew all the way to Tampa. It's cheaper to get tickets to Tampa rather than Sarasota. It's a bigger airport. But the flight from Spokane to Seattle, it's only like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that, maybe less. But that was the most turbulent flight that I've ever experienced. So consider I've only flown to Florida once before, but it was 1, 2, 3, 4 flights from Spokane to Atlanta, Atlanta to Sarasota, from Sarasota to Minnesota, Minnesota to Spokane. So there's 4 flights. But the one from Spokane to Seattle was horrible. It was a small plane and it was turbulent the entire way. Anyway, I died. And then the flight from Seattle all the way to Tampa was long, too long. I figured out that I'm okay flying under 4 hours. I would rather fly less than 4 hours somewhere do a layover, and then fly another under 4 hours. That would be a nice flight for me. If it's over 4 hours, it's just too long. Hard. I am just a chicken with flying on planes. Um, anyway, we went there. We really enjoyed it again. We rented a boat and went out and uh, took the boat out, saw dolphins, lots of dolphins. That was really cool. And so, yeah, now we skipped another year, which is this year, and we're hoping to go again next year. It's an expensive trip. It's not cheap, but it's so good. I just want to live there. If it was up to me, I would just live there. Anyway, that is my story about our 1 month living in Florida. Please like the video and comment. Tell me how you feel about flying. Are you comfortable flying? Do you not care? Do you think I will stop caring about worrying like that if we fly more? I assume if I fly more, I'll just get used to it. I don't know. What do you think? If you could comment with the words Florida vacation in your comment for the algorithms, I would appreciate it. And that's all I got for today. I will most likely do a video tomorrow, and if not, then the day after, since this is my last one for the 30-day challenge. I will most likely make a video tomorrow. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you have an awesome day or evening or whenever it is at your location. I will see you tomorrow or the next day. Bye-bye.